So with Salesforce and CPQ, everything always starts with an account. Okay, so I'm going to pull up Edge Communications, and off of the account you have opportunities. So every single time you have a new contract that you're working on with a client or a customer, it's going to become an opportunity. So the opportunity is basically your main point. So the client will have their account, but then every single time they want something new will be usually an opportunity. Okay, so we click on a new opportunity to create a new opportunity, and we're going to go and give it a name. And I'm going to start off with the prospecting, because that's usually where you start off with. We don't have to worry about amount or next step or anything like that right now. And that created an opportunity. So I'm going to click on that demo opportunity. So right now we're on the demo, on this opportunity. The next thing is to go and create a quote off of that opportunity. So you can have multiple quotes on an opportunity, but only one primary. Okay, and when you go and switch from having one from primary to a different one, it'll automatically change all the opportunity products on that opportunity to match up with what that quote is, with what the primary quote is. Okay. And if you have any questions, just please ask. We're going to give it a date range. I'm going to give this a year. Okay, so that's 1 year. And this will automatically create the quote for me. So now we're on the quote. So that was all the easy stuff so far. So are there any questions?
No, we're with you.
No? Okay. Okay, now I've automatically set up the price book. There's only one price book in here. You can have multiple price books if you wanted, but there's only one. I only have one as of right now, and that's just the standard price book. And I'm defaulting that on the quote. I can default it to whatever you want. If I didn't default it, would ask you right now which price book you wanted. And that's usually very confusing for sales reps, so I automatically default that either they're using the standard one, which is always the same, or they can have you can have multiple price books, and based off of different criteria, we can default that. Okay. I have guided selling here. I have it set up mostly as a filtering system. So I've moved all the different products in this org to 6 different categories. And if I picked, let's say, computer system, and suggest, it's going to give me all the products that are in the computer system category. So that's a filter that I had set up on the products. Okay, so it's an easy way of being able to basically drill down, because if you were to see everything all at once, a lot of times it becomes overbearing on a sales rep, and you want to make it as easy as possible for them to use this system and adopt this. Okay, so if I wanted to go and change the guided selling, I can easily just go and click over here, and I can see the pick list all over again. So if I want to change, let's say, service and support, and here's all the service and support products. There's also another filter here, which is this one, which I can drill down into this even more. So let's say with home security, I only want to see products that are in the service area, and you'll see there are 2. But if I were to look at the guided selling, and I would look at for service and support, home security rather, you'll see many more products. So I have multiple filters here to make it much easier on the sales rep. This can be customized for whatever you want. Okay? In this particular example, I'm just going to go back to the computer system. And I'm going to select the desktop computer. And we'll click select. And if it's a radio button like this, it means there's only one selection in this section. Okay? If it's a checkbox, that means I can check off any number of things. Okay? And this way I can mix and match whatever I want for the configuration of this computer. I also have a configuration attribute set up here. This is for the keyboard configuration. So if you look down here, right now I'm set up for the US keyboard. If I change to UK, this will automatically change to the UK keyboard.
How easy is this to add and remove products from this? Is it relatively easy, or is it require coding?
As far as adding and removing products, as far as checking on and off stuff, or adding on new products onto, let's say I wanted another product onto, let's say, stores.
Yeah, I wanted to add another product.
It's very easy. All I would need to do is add that product into the system, and then I would go in to the desktop bundle, and I could easily just go and add on a product there. So it's just a product option. It's just like it's a junction object. So it's just a connector to go between the two different products. And that would connect that one product, let's say it's another piece of storage, over to this one. So it's very, very easy.
Do you think you have to be, do I need an admin to do this, or do I train a product manager to do it?
I could easily train anybody to go and do it. It usually takes only a couple of minutes to go and create a new product and go and add that onto the bundle. And that's one of the things I usually go and teach people how to go about doing. So if you wanted to, I could show you now. But that's, that would kind of take away from this demo a little bit. And I would recommend continuing on, and if you wanted to, we could set up another meeting later on, and I could show you all the back-end stuff and show you how easy it is to administer it. I can teach almost anybody with very little computer skills to be able to add on a new product and be able to configure this.
Great. Thank you, Alex.
Okay. Okay, so I've done with the configuration on this. I want to go and add on maybe a computer monitor. I'm going to go in, and I can change the quantity on the computer monitor. So I can change that to, let's say, 2. And I'm going to click Save. And you'll see this added on that new computer. And it told me all the things that I picked, including that monitor, and I wanted 2 of those monitors. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go and add on another product. Right. So I'll show you how easy it is to go and add on another product onto this quote. I just click on Add Product. Now it's going to default for the settings that I had on the previous one. So in order to change that, I just go over here to Guided Selling, and this time I'm going to go and add on cloud storage. And I want to go and pick the cloud storage. It's only 1 gigabyte, and this is also a subscription product, which means that it's going to charge me $20 a month every single month for a year. Okay. Now I have this set up for segments. So it's broken down by default. It's broken down by month. So you'll see that it's $20 a month every single month. Where's my scroll bar to go back and forth? There we go. So I wasn't seeing it. So it comes up to $240. So the reason why I have this broken down by month, if I click this drop down, I can add on additional discount. A lot of people want, like, let's say the first month free. And this is how I would do that. So I can add on 1 month free, and if I do a quick calculate, you'll see now the first month is no fee, and it's $20 a month after that. And before it was $240, you see now it's $220. Okay? Now, this
Month to month like this?
was it?
Does it have to be month to month like this? This is just really long, really wide.
No. And it could be by quarter, it could be by year, it could be however, every 2 months, whatever you want. So well, actually not every 2 months, but it's like quarter, monthly, annual. So, but if I didn't want that, I was just about to go and show you that I have another option even with this. So I took out the additional discount. I'm gonna do a quick save, just take that out. So I want to show you another example, because not everybody wants it all strung out like that. So, and see this little wizard right here, the little wand right there? If I click on that, that's going to desegment it. So this way, it kind of answers your question where it's a little bit easier. Now it's defaulted for the $20. If I do a quick save, now quick save and save are the same thing, right? So the big difference is that quick save saves in this screen, and save is going to go and take me out. Okay, so I want to see everything as it's supposed to be. Okay, so as a rule of thumb, I always do a quick save before I go and do a save, just to make sure that everything looked right, so there's no surprises. Okay, so you'll see that it went back to the $240. I'm also going to change the quantity on this. I'm going to change this to, I don't want 1 gigabyte, I want 3 gigabytes. And being this is 3 gigabytes, this is for this time sequence in here. So you have the start date and the end date. So this is 1 year. So this is 3 times the 240, which comes out to $720. Okay? So any questions?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
I know we're going through a demo, and so I think we've kind of got the out-of-the-box fields here in terms of the columns on the layout.
Mm-hmm.
Is it difficult? Is it possible for us to add additional columns? Because for for certain businesses, we're going to need other metrics or other variables that we want to track against. Can you explain kind of what our options are there?
Yeah, we can add on any fields that you want. There are a couple of different ways to be able to do that. One is I can add them up here, like you see. The other way is, this is called the drawer. And if I click on that drop down, so I actually did change some of this from what it was defaulted as, because it was so long.
Okay.
Right? It was even longer. So it had the product code and the unit cost up in here. Right? So I didn't necessarily need that on the initial layout. So what I did was I put those down in here in the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
And this way it saved me a little bit of room, because it was way too long. If it gets too long, it's kind of unmanageable. But I can easily change the fields up here. I can add on any custom fields that you want. I can add on sometimes pick lists. I can add on, almost anything that you want. Right? Or I can add it down here into the drawer. So it's still there. It's kind of off, so it saves you a little bit of room.
Okay, so we have some options. We can
Yes.
simplify the visuals by using the drawer. And to Brad's question again, thinking on the business side of things, is this something an admin could do, a product manager? Is this something maybe we need a specialist to do? Where do you see this type of skill set being for, if we wanted to maintain this in the long term?
If you're just changing like the fields up in here,
Yeah.
Okay, or something in the drawer, it's basically just it's what they call a field set. Okay, and the field set it's fairly easy to administer. So Here, I'll show you what one looks like, just so that to go and kind of answer your question, just to show you how easy it is, right?
Yeah, we're always thinking about administration and what we would need as
Right,
clients.
right. Because at the end of the day, you need to go and take this over yourselves and be able to administer it, right?
Right.
So we're going to go to Setup. And I'm going to go to Object Manager. I want to go to Quote Line. And you'll see an option right here for field sets. Remember I said field sets earlier? And the line editor this corresponds, see all these names right here? Yep. They're going to exactly correspond to right here.
Okay.
Okay. So if you wanted to go and add something in, it's just a matter of taking something and just going clicking and dragging it, and if you click save, that's it.
Okay.
It's literally that simple.
Alrighty.
Okay. So it's something almost anybody can do. Yeah. Okay. You just have to know where to go, but it's very easy. It doesn't require any kind of coding or anything like that. So and it's the same thing with the drawer. And that the drawer that I was talking about, that's right here. It's called the standard line item drawer.
Okay. So and it seems like our admin could easily do this based upon our requirements. We could tell them what fields we need, and the admin can easily come in and drop these fields in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just need to know where to go.
Okay, awesome.
Right, and that's the only difficult part, is figuring out where to go.
Yeah. Once
they figure out where to go, this is very, very easy.
Okay. Well, thank you for showing us. We appreciate that.
Okay. So we're back on here. So any other questions on this screen before we go on to the next piece? Okay. So now I'm going to click Save. Okay, now I'm back on the quote. I want to take a look at the quote document. So I'm going to click Preview Document. And this is a copy of exactly what you would send the client or your customer. Okay, and it has the account name. Well, here's the account name. So it has our name on top. So it has the quote number and the dates and all. It has the ship to and the bill to address. All this is extremely customizable. Right? This is just a very standard layout. This doesn't always fit in with what everybody wants. Everybody wants something a little bit different wording, different fields, different things in the table here. We can add on anything add on or take off anything that you want. I've seen some quote docs that are pages and pages and pages long. So, and are dynamic as well, based off of different criteria. So they might have different terms and conditions based on different types of accounts and things like that. We can do all of that stuff. It's extremely highly customizable. Okay?
So got some flexibility there.
Yeah. You can even add on DocuSign onto this if you wanted to as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to cancel out of that. Okay. Now I have this order set up where every single quote needs to be approved. Okay? So in order to send a quote for approval, because what I've seen a lot of times with customers and clients is that they spend a lot of time just trying to approve quotes, and there's no actual system in place for that. CPQ and Salesforce takes care of all that for you. It just needs to be set up. Okay? So with this particular quote, notice over here, I have this in a draft status right now. I'm going to submit this for approval. I can type in comments if I want. It's not a requirement. It's always a good idea to. So I'm going to just type in some comments. And I'm going to submit it. When I did that, it says that it's in review now. You'll see over here the status is in review. I now got to log in as a different person because I have this approval going to a manager. Okay? So I'm just going to go and open up another tab. And being that I'm an admin on this system, I can log in as different users. Right? Standard users would not have this ability, but being that I'm admin, I can do this, where I can log in as different people.
Okay.
And I'm going to log in as Bob Smith. Okay, now I'm logged in as Bob Smith. You can see Bob Smith up here. And I'm going to go to Bob Smith's approval requests. Now we can make this tab up on top. That's no problem.
Okay.
And this is that quote number 44 that I was working on. So you say number 44. That's why I left this tab open so you can see that there's a logic to this. So there's number 44, and he automatically gets quote number 44. So this can also be set up where it can be set up as far as multiple different types of notification, like email and a case and things like that. So whatever that you use to go and track stuff, we can easily do that for notification.
Can we approve by email? A lot of times our sales teams are in the field and maybe not always at not during COVID, but not always at the computer. Is that a capability that we have?
Yeah, you can do that either through the mobile app or you can do that through email.
Okay, so we have a couple options for mobile. Okay.
Yeah, you can do all that.
What do most people set up?
What do
most people do for?
Depends on the client. My personal experience is that I don't see too much of the approval by email. Normally they go through the system like this. But that can be set up. Going through the system like this and mobile is almost identical. So there's not too many, so most people go like to the mobile app, and that way it also gives them a lot more flexibility. We already took it off, unfortunately, but if I wanted to, I could have clicked on that quote and it would have shown me the whole quote.
I'm just curious, like, what our options are. What would be the right option for us?
Yeah, it depends on what your business processes are, and how much flexibility that you want. We can do almost anything that you want, whether you want to be able to approve it by email, approve it by mobile app, approve it by the desktop, which is what this is. We can do whatever they want. Okay. Right. So any other questions on this?
No, pretty straightforward. Thank you for taking us through that.
Okay. So let's see. I now have to log out. Because I'm logging in as Bob Smith, I need to log back in as my other user. So when I log out, it's going to drop me all the way back out here. Okay, so I just need to go and log back in. Normal users won't have this problem, but because I'm logging in and out as different people. Okay, now we're logged back in as me. I'm going to go back to my quotes. Actually, I can go back over here. So you see, it still says in review because we haven't refreshed yet. If I do a refresh, it should now say approved. So now you're approved. Okay? Now we go on to the next step, if there's no questions.
Well, I have a question about approvals. How complicated can this get? Because our business is, we've got a lot of products. We want to have some discounts.
Mm-hmm.
So in your experience, what's been the right mix about doing approvals and setting them up versus
with CPQ is the only place we have this option of having two different types of approvals. We have the standard approval, which is bundled with standard Salesforce, and this one was just a very simple approval. If I can use a simple approval like the standard one, I would use that because it's a little bit easier to administer. There's another option, which is advanced approvals. Advanced approvals can go off of multiple different types of conditions. So I can even, with an advanced approval, I can even look at individual lines on the quote and discounts attached to those individual lines. So let's say it's just the computer that I want to look at, right? And I want to have, let's say with, as an example, with this quote, I had two different types of products. I had cloud storage and I have the desktop, the desktop computer. A lot of times it's not the same person that would do approvals on both. So I may have an approval on one person that needs to approve the computer and another person that needs to approve the cloud storage. With advanced approvals, I have a lot more things that are available to me, so I can separate that out a little bit more. And I can have multiple different types of chains and all, approval chains. I can have different types of conditions. I can have different email templates that it goes to. Right, so it gives me a huge amount of flexibility being able to use advanced approvals. It's not right for everybody. So if we can use the standard approvals, I would usually recommend that because, like I said, they're a little bit easier to administer. With the advanced approvals, I'll be quite honest, probably like a junior level admin may not be able to fully grasp it. Standard approvals, they probably can. I can easily show them how to go about doing a standard approval and be able to show almost anybody how to do that. The advanced approvals need a little bit more knowledge.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. That make sense?
Helps. Yeah, it helps.
Okay. Okay. So it's whatever is the best option for that client. Right? Okay. So if there are no questions, I'm going to go on to creating the order. So I'm going to go to the opportunity. And on the opportunity, I'm just going to go and mark these as stage complete to go all the way to closed won. Ideally, they would be going through these different stages as they're working on this opportunity. Being that this is a demo, we're doing it all at one time. Right? This is not the normal case. Normally, these different stages they will be going through over like maybe the course of like a couple of days or a week or something like that, or maybe even a couple of weeks. Okay, and we're going to go to close one, and I'm going to save. Okay, so now this opportunity is closed one. Now I'm going to create the order. So I'm going to go down here. This can all be automated. Okay, and I would highly recommend automating it. This is just, for this demo purpose, right? So in reality, it actually checks off this checkbox. Okay, when you order something off of an opportunity, it checks off that checkbox, and that creates the order automatically. Okay. And now, for whatever reason with this layout, I was having trouble trying to get the order in the related list. I don't know why. It's not an FLS problem or anything like that. This is a side note, because I know you guys know development. I wasn't able to get it to. I played around with it for like I think it might be because of the trailhead. Maybe something was set up.
It's an activation issue.
Oh, okay.
Talk about it later.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I can get to it through here, and it works all in Classic. So
Doesn't everything, all the good stuff.
yeah,
Keep going.
everything always works in Classic. So if I go back to the quote, I will see the order right here. Okay. So and I can click on the order. Okay. And let's see. So so I'm going to activate this order. Okay. So now it's activated. So and you'll see on this order, this has all the lines that were there from the quote line. So everything is moving over 100%.
Why do I have order?
You need to create an order in order to be able to eventually build a customer and all.
So okay, so my people are kind of dumb. So what are my people using for data? So my salespeople, would they ever use orders?
It depends. Most of the time, sometimes the sales rep is creating the order, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they're taking it up to the point of where they do a closed one and then they're done. That's usually the sales rep. There's another organization a lot of times that that'll actually start completing the order and fulfilling it. Okay, so it may be two different people.
Okay.
Okay, so make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So let's see. So now that we've activated the order, there was a subscription on here, and that was the cloud storage. Okay. So when you create the order, it creates assets for all the physical things. So that would be the computer and all the components that went into that computer. Those are all going to be physical assets. The other thing is subscriptions. So subscriptions are not going to be an asset because they're a subscription. Okay. So they're going to have to go onto a contract because those are billed. In this case, it's billed monthly or annually. So it's only one. I changed it to. I took off the segmentation, so this is actually on a yearly. Okay. So it's going to be billed on a yearly basis. So in order to be able to do that, I need to contract it. So right here on the order, you see this contracted checkbox. So, and I'm going to check off that checkbox and click Save. Okay. I'm going to need to refresh because it doesn't always, it added on the contract, but you're not always going to see it until you refresh the screen. And now you'll see a contract right here. So I'm going to click on the contract. And I'm going to activate this contract. Okay. So now, let's say they're halfway through the year, and I had 3 gigabytes of storage. We're halfway through the year, and they say, you know what? I don't need all 3. I only needed 1. Right? So what you're going to do is you're going to do an amendment and change that existing contract and take off the 2 gigabytes for the second half of the year. In order to do that, I need to click Amend. And I click Amend again. And when I amended this quote, what it did was two things. It created an amendment opportunity automatically and an amendment quote. So it created a brand new quote and opportunity for the amendment. And you'll see right here I have the 3 gigabytes of storage. I'm going to change this. Remember I said halfway through the year. So I'm going to change this to February. And I'm going to change this to 1. Now look what happens with the net total when I do a quick save. It automatically took those 2 gigabytes for the second half of the year, and it deducted those. So it's a negative $240. Okay? So we're going to click Save. Now we're going to go through the same process that we did before when we created the order and the contract. And this will go in amend it. So we're going to go to the opportunity.
And Alex, while you're doing this, given I think we've got about 14 minutes left, if we could just kind of wrap up our last part of the demo here in the next 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll just have kind of an open conversation from there, if that's okay with you.
We're almost actually all done. So
Perfect.
Because the last thing is renewal, and then we're all done.
All right.
Okay. So, and I'm not going to re-explain all this because we've gone through this piece already.
Yep.
And you see that this is almost exactly what we went through before. So the exact same steps. Okay. Now, the big difference is when I click contracted, go to this contract. Now, this is the exact same contract that I had before. Okay, there's no new contract. It just amended onto the old one.
Okay, the existing one stays.
The existing one. Okay, it just amended it. Okay, so there's no new contract. It just appended onto the existing one. So, and you'll see that the 3 gigabytes for 1 year, and then I changed my mind, or the business changed. I didn't need all 3, so I only needed 1. So I took off 2 gigabytes for the second half of the year, and that's where the deduction came in of 120.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, so we're going to go back to this contract. Now let's say it's a year from now, okay, and I want to renew this contract. Now this is all done usually automatically through time-related workflows and all, okay, but for the sake of this demo, we're going to do this all at one time.
Cool.
So the first thing is usually it'll forecast it. So this is for usually tracking purposes. That's a lot of times done about a month beforehand. Okay?
What you typically see is you want to forecast your renewals out a month in advance.
Right. That's a lot of times what I see.
Okay.
Okay? So because I want to know when a renewal is coming up.
Right.
Okay?
And our leadership needs to be aware of that as well. Yep.
Right. It's a time-related workflow. Usually about a month out. They usually go and check off that checkbox. The second thing is when this checkbox is checked off, it's going to go and create a brand new renewal quote and a brand new renewal opportunity. Okay, look over here. It says renewal opportunities is 0. So when I click this, save, Now you'll see the renewal opportunity.
Okay, so the system automatically creates it in background, so we don't have to go do that manually for ourselves.
Right, that's correct. It did it all automatically for you. Okay, and it renewed it for what it was at the time of renewal. Because remember, at the beginning of it, we had 3 gigabytes. You don't want 3 gigabytes because that's not what it was at the end of that contract. It was only 1 gigabyte. So you'll see this is only 1 gigabyte of pay. Okay, because it's only $240. Okay, and there's a renewal opportunity. And you'll also see that I created a new renewal quote as well.